Okay, final thoughts on the Focus RS. So I got 1 week worth of driving involved, as well as one road trip the previous week. Top things I like about the car. Number one, I love the performance of the car. I love the way the brakes feel. I love how the suspension is tuned. The amount of torque the car produces is just amazing, especially when coming out of like the Fiesta with a smaller engine and about almost half the horsepower. So performance, of course, spot on. I think everyone would have expected that from the Focus RS. It is great. Exterior styling, love the look of the car. I love everything they did to the car to really make it look aggressive. I like the functional wing on the back with the gurney flap. I like the chin spoiler, the splitter. I like everything they've done on the exterior of the car. I love the exhaust note. That's one of the things that I wouldn't have expected that I loved as much as I did. I always drove it around in sport mode or track mode with the exhaust baffle open. I love the pops. I love listening to the exhaust. The other thing I loved is the sync, updated sync system, not my Ford Touch. The updated sync system is fantastic as well. So much better than my Ford Touch. I didn't realize how bad my Ford Touch was until I used something that actually works. So that's another big advantage. I love the way the car shifts. I love the way the car, I love the steering input of how the car feels, especially in sport mode with the tighter steering feel. Things I didn't like about the car. It's got weird intake noises, and I can't explain exactly what it is. I don't know if it is the combination of the air filter, the induction tube. I don't really know. Is it the sound composer maybe? I don't know. All I know is that this thing has the weirdest intake sound I have ever heard from a car with a conical filter. I haven't figured it out yet. I'm gonna do some more research on that, see if I can try to figure this out. Also, there's really no turbo noise coming out of it. I get a nice psh type sound when I let off the throttle in the ST. I don't get that in this car. Of course, I'm really not pushing all that much boost. The engine isn't broken yet, so that might change a little bit as we start to actually build some more boost pressure. We've rarely used any boost in this car, which also tells you how much fun you can have in the car with really not even pushing it. Really not even going over 3,500 RPMs and maybe 6 to 8 pounds of boost. This car's a riot to drive. A couple of other things I didn't like. I could never really get comfortable in the car. I don't exactly know why about that either. It may just be a focus thing. It may just be the combination of the seating position, the steering wheel, and the shifter. I never felt 100% at home in the car. My Fiesta, I felt at home as soon as I sat in the very first car in the Fiesta movement, which was what, 2000. Gosh, that was 2009 already, so that's almost 8 years ago. I just felt like home. It felt perfect to me. The Focus RS feels a little different. I haven't spent enough time in a regular Focus to be able to tell if it's they got the same problem. I drive them for rental cars, but they have an automatic, so I'm really not shifting, and so I'm not really paying attention too much to the seating position or my ergonomic feel of the car. But that's something I noticed on the RS that I was a little uncomfortable with. The other thing is, I don't like that normal mode exists. Normal mode sucks. Even with a tune, normal mode just sucks. I hate normal mode. I wish you could just default this thing to sport mode 24/7 and be done with it. I do like how you could change the shock setting though. That's pretty cool. I can change it in sport mode, but I found normal mode to be absolutely horrible. I've driven a stock car with normal mode. I've driven a tuned car with normal mode, and it just plain sucks. It's just a horrible driving condition. I don't like it. I hate it. But sport mode is great. I always drove in sport mode. Much happier with the car. I'm glad the Fiesta ST, I don't have to do anything when I get in the car to change the driving mode. It's just fun no matter whatever mode you're driving in. So a couple of things there on what I liked and didn't like. Lastly, $1 million question. Would I trade my Fiesta ST for a Focus RS? And as of now, I'd say no, not quite yet. I love my Fiesta ST for a lot of reasons, and I'm not ready to give that car up yet. There's so much more I still really want to kind of explore and do with the car. I'm not sure exactly what it's going to be yet, but I just don't feel like the car is reached its full potential with everything I want to do to it. I also love the size of the Fiesta so much better than the Focus. I love the lightweight of the Fiesta. I like how rowdy the car is. But then again, I also like how grown up the RS feels. It feels like this should be a car I should be driving at my age, but the ST is just way too much more fun. I love the Fiesta ST size. It's cheaper to modify, it's cheaper to own, it's cheaper to do everything to than the RS. So that plays into it a little bit. Will I ever buy an RS? Yeah, I think there's probably a really good chance that at some point I will buy an RS. It'll have to be used, obviously. I'm a little concerned about reliability long term of these cars, so I'll be carefully watching over that. I don't have any worries about that with my ST. The thing is rock solid right from day one. Never had a problem with it. Would I recommend the RS to anyone? Yeah, absolutely. If you're in the market for a hot hatch and you need the extra room and you have the income to drive something a little bit more money, and you don't mind that the fact that everything is a little bit more expensive to modify or to own, yeah, absolutely. The car is just absolutely brilliant. It's amazing that they built this car, and it's a performance bargain when you start looking at what type of performance you get out of this car. So with that, I would say, yeah, thumbs up on this car. I definitely am looking forward to doing more road tests and more comparative between the RS and the ST once the engine gets broken. I now have over 1,000 miles on it. It's going back to my dad tonight. He's going to get the oil change and the recirc valve installed. We'll double back around and see what changes it's done after it's been broken in. Also, I want to get his input more on driving the car. So far, it's been mostly just Brandon and I driving it. He's been out of town, so it'll be good to get him back in the driver's seat and get his input. But so far, the car's a lot of fun. It's really been enjoyable. I'm going to so much miss the exhaust pops on my way to work tomorrow. I will also miss how stiff the suspension is on the ST, but I could fix that on the ST. And maybe Mountune will come out with a RS pop program for my ST as well. So, all right, leave any comments you have below, and I'll do my best to answer them.